is completely new and different. So that's pretty much what we're showing here. You guys have any questions?
So gameplay-wise, what are you taking from The Longest Journey? What are you taking from Dreamfall? And what new aspects do you add to the game?
That's a good and extremely comprehensive question. From Dreamfall, we're obviously taking the way the world operates and how sort of what the controls are like. The controls are much improved from Dreamfall, but they're definitely in the same sort of style as that. From Longest Journey, we're making more involved puzzles, puzzles that also encompass bigger locations. For example, remember the island puzzle in Longest Journey where you had all the statues? We're not doing exactly that, but there is a situation a little bit later on, I think in book 2, where you have to go around the city and do things in order for something to happen, and just to use the environment and the scope a little bit more than Dreamfall. Dreamfall is usually sort of like, if you had an issue, you could solve it in that sort of exact area, and it was usually quite simple. We're not making a super difficult game, but it's definitely more difficult than Dreamfall.
And we're trying to sort of like find that balance between the two, like take what was good about The Longest Journey, added more of the magic, the feeling of being able to explore and have like larger environments and having more time to do things at your own pace and in the order you want to do them, while not putting up immense roadblocks that hurt the pacing. Like what I really liked about Dreamfall was the pacing of the storytelling and how that worked.
In terms of new stuff, the choice of consequences is our biggest and most important feature. And it's always been there, lurking on the sidelines in the previous games, where tiny choices are recognized. But we never had the skill set, or I guess also the technical ability to do a story that has more choice in it. So that's something we're putting a lot of emphasis on. And it's ended up, being a lot of work, but definitely worth it. So right now you make a lot of choices in every chapter, and all those choices are remembered and carried on to subsequent episodes, and they will change the way you experience the game. There's still one ending. We're not making 20 different endings. We're making one ending, but the characters who stand with you or against you, what you're left with, how characters relate to you, and what you experience during you playing the game, that changes. So I hope that answered your question.
Will it affect the puzzles as well?
Yeah.
So you might have to solve another puzzle or a little bit difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. We try to keep the difficulty the same because we want the choices to be more about story and not about choosing which is easiest. But of course, it's never completely possible to make sure two puzzles are exactly the same. But yeah, depending on the career path you take, you will have completely different tasks during the days here. Right now I am working in a shop. Yeah, I'm working in a shop with somebody called Mira and Witz. They're actually located over here. But I could have gone back to school instead and taken a different career path, and I would have been working in a lab at this point. So yeah, that's a massive change. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of what we've done there, because I think the story is about choice and consequence. That's the whole theme. But it also makes the story yours. Even though it's a written, designed story, you feel a lot closer to it, having made those choices alongside the character and heard her thoughts about it.
Yeah, and it's about exploring emotions that may not be so easy to explore in, say, books and movies, because this is a medium where you actually get to participate and you are making the choices. It's not... if you're watching a movie and somebody makes a bad choice, you can empathize and you can sympathize, but you can never feel guilt about it. You can never...
No, exactly. You can't. Guilt is something that TV and no other medium can do, because you're not the one doing it. You can't feel guilty because of something a character did. You can feel like you wish that character didn't do it, but you can't feel personal guilt. But in this game, a choice you made that may seem innocuous might change somebody's life or end it, and you are going to feel guilty about that. You damn well are.
Yeah, you damn well are.
But yeah, I think that's
concludes
what we
our-
have.
so
That
unless you have
concludes
any
our
more
session.
Is there some kind of help system for people who get stuck at puzzles?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Figure
The
it out.
internet.
It's called
I suppose.
It's called Google.
It's called Google. And it works.
No, we don't. We actually feel it's fun to get stuck in this game because there's always stuff to do and people to see, and you can wander about for a bit. You're not stuck on a single screen with like a massively complicated puzzle. You can wander about, and then maybe inspiration strikes you, and it's never going to be so hard that people are going to have to go on, on forums or hid sites in order to figure it out.
I don't think you can promise that nobody's ever going to go
Nobody
on
will
the forum.
ever. You can write that
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Is there already a release date for the second book?
No.
No, but it won't be too long after the first one. You're gonna keep the pace steady. Yeah. I think part of the joy will be to join the conversation after each book is out, to talk to people about it, theorize about what's gonna happen. So it should be just enough time for people to really get into crazy theories before we release the second one and go like, oh no!
The game comes out on PlayStation 4 as well. So how did this come about? Did you approach Sony? Did they approach you? Or?
They approached us actually, and because they saw the Kickstarter and they saw the trailers we did, and they loved it. And it's the type of game that you don't really get on. I mean, there's Telltale games obviously, and they're somewhat similar, but it's still, as you can see, it's a game that people aren't really making anymore. There aren't any games like Dreamfall out there, and I think that's what Sony liked. I think they just like the diversity on their platform. And for us it's great because we are a small company. We only want to work on one console right now, and PlayStation 4 is, it runs the game great. It can actually handle a game that looks like this, and previous consoles could never do that. So yeah, so it's perfect for us. We don't have a release date.
That will
so
be later.
It's going to be after the PC version, yeah. And it's not going to have a negative impact on the PC version or anything like that. If we do anything new for the PlayStation 4 version, we'll definitely try to bring that to the PC version as well. It's not like we're trying to make exclusive features or anything like that, but since it comes a bit later, we might have fixed some stuff or put some new stuff in, who knows. But then we'll definitely want to put that back into the PC version. Yeah.
And PlayStation 4 will also have episodic release.
Yes.
Digital only, so it's not going to be a retail PlayStation release.
And maybe take one more picture with you in front of the game, so you together
Me
with
and
the
dog.
game. Excuse me?
Me and dog, I hope.
Yes, of
that's what
course.
he said.
Just me hugging the TV. Let's zoom in here actually. I can do it together with Zoe.